So as mentioned, I would now warmly welcome the representative of the groups to share about their discussion. And of course, you are welcome also to ask our experts, legal, accounting, medical experts, if you have any questions. But the only thing I ask, if you would limit yourself to 5 minutes. Okay. So, who will be the first?
Hi, I'm the representative of the legal sector, and we discussed a case about a gentleman called Peter, Paul, and Mary. And Peter's a lawyer, and Paul is a registered owner of a house, and he claimed he's being occupied by Mary, which is like 80 years old. And Mary said she can live there because of Paul's father. So we discussed like a few questions about this case. On the first question, we said, should Paul sue Mary? And our conclusion is we are like moral versus legal. Because morally, like Mary is like 80 years old, and she lived there for a long time, and she's a like poor old lady. But legally, Paul is the registered owner. So we feel that since Paul has the legal right of the house, so he should proceed with getting back the house. And also he is in a condition that he needs the money, because I think he's a businessman and he is facing some financial difficulty. So we feel that he is nothing wrong to proceed with the suing Mary. And the other one of the why we say that is because like no evidence versus evidence. Like Paul has evidence because he's the registered owner, so he has a proof of the possession of the legal right of the house. But because Mary is living there based on a verbal promise or like agreement from Paul's father. So and Paul's father is no longer here. So this is like evidence versus no evidence. So based on this two issue, we feel that Paul has the right to sue Mary. Our second question is, should Peter help Paul to sue Mary? In this case, because when the lawyer, Peter, when he looked at the legal document, he finds some defect. But he finds some defect, but he did not disclose to the owner, Paul. So our question is, and also because Mary she didn't hire any lawyer. So we are saying that should the lawyer take the case? But because we feel that like although Mary doesn't have a representative lawyer, but as the lawyer representing Paul, he should based on his lawyer's decision, but not concerning whether Mary has a representative lawyer. And the others is because Peter know about the defect on the title, but as a lawyer, he should tell Paul about the possible defect. But in this case, he did not. Okay. Our question number 3 is, should Peter, the lawyer, tell Paul about the defect? As a lawyer, because if he see a defect, he should tell his client that there is a defect in the title, and he should do that. And question number 4 is, assuming that Peter has advised Paul about the defect, should Paul still instruct to go ahead with the lawsuit? Should the lawyer accept the instruction? That means, let's say if the lawyer he instruct his client that there is a defect in the title, but as a lawyer, should you still go ahead? And we discuss about this, and we think that it should depend on the seriousness of the defect. If it is very serious, if the title is serious, has a serious defect, then we should feel that the lawyer should not accept the case. But this is based on whether it is serious or not. and only as a lawyer, they can only decline the case for a hopeless case. That means if they know that this case is no hope of winning, then the lawyer can decline. If not, then he should still based on the benefit of the client. Okay, now number 5 is Mary is now homeless because she lost the case, and then they kick her out from the house. Okay, and she has nowhere to live. But the thing is, they find that Mary has $1 million in her bank. So right now, should Peter conduct recommend? Should they blame the lawyer for suing an old lady? And in this case, we talk about is the lawyer can only base on the information of the client. So let's say if the client give him 50% of the information, they can only base on the information, and also from Paul. So we feel that the lawyer should not be blamed for taking the case. So in this way, in this case, we feel that actually Paul, he has the right to sue the client, to sue Mary, okay? As a lawyer, okay, he should base on the fact, but not the morally, okay? But the only thing is, if he saw some defect in the title, he should tell the client, and it will be up to the decision of the client. So, sorry, this is our presentation.
So I'm the representative from the legal section of the students. So as mentioned just now, for the case, so I won't talk about the summary again. And our group thinks that what's the lawyer? If we were the lawyer and we would take this case because Mary, the old woman, does not have any evidence in receiving the gift from the client's father. So there is a big chance that that the client would get back his house. And as a lawyer, we should support our client. So when the client came to you and asked you about the advice or asked you to help him to get back the house, so that we should trust him and based on what information that he has given us, and we would act and help to fight for the greatest benefits. Benefits. And also, as long as we have advised Paul about the consequences and about the possible defects in the title, and we think that it is okay to accept the case, and our responsibility is just to follow the instructions of our client. So we do not have the right to help the client to decide or what, and we should just only give suggestions and follow his instruction. Or unless any false evidence is provided by our client, then we should not take this case. And also, as long as we are not against the professional conduct rule, so we think that we should accept. It is okay to accept this case and to help our client to get back his house.
Shall we give our expert the chance maybe to make a comment? Would you like, Sherman, to make a comment or react to briefly?
Very briefly. Now, as a lawyer, you can only act professionally. And in this case, Peter can only act upon the instructions given by Paul. And although there are factors which may affect his decision, the fact that Mary is a very old lady, and the fact that there may be a defect in the title, but on balance, there seems to be nothing wrong for Peter to take up the case and commence the lawsuit. But of course, it all depends on how serious the defect is. If the defect goes to the root of the problem, to the effect that actually Paul doesn't really have any right to repossess the house, that would change the picture. And in that case, Peter should decline to take up the case. Now, the net result of this lawsuit is that Mary has been kicked out of the house, and she's now homeless, and she was hit by a car. Now, that is something which made Peter feel sorry. Now, in reality, things like this always happens. We have to act. We receive instructions to act in a certain way. But then, morally speaking, what we may be doing may be in the eyes of some other people morally wrong. So we are always in this kind of situation. We have to overcome this kind of struggle all the time. But the important thing is, in our capacity as a lawyer, we must always tell ourselves what are the legal considerations and what are the moral considerations. And sometimes you have to make a decision, make a judgment based on the law and not moral. But of course, sometimes when it's a borderline case, maybe you have to tip the balance and take into account of moral considerations as well. The point is, we are always in a situation of struggles, and that's the problem of being a lawyer. That's the whole point.
I'm representing the group and parents. I'm actually a teacher at Marymount Secondary School. So basically, we look at medical case number 2. In short, what that was about, there is this patient who is suffering from cancer, and we know that he will not be recovering, so he's terminally ill. So there is a choice whether or not to recommend the use of a very expensive medication that will only be able to soothe his pain, but will not able to cure the disease. So as doctors, we, the whole group, believe that we should provide complete information so that patients and the family members can make a well-informed choice. Something we always talk about in school, actually. And we have also talked about how that is very important for different doctors who might be working at different places to look at the same similar case. For example, if you're a doctor at a private hospital, perhaps you might think of some economic benefits and also the benefits of yourself before you prescribe. Right? So if you are not giving any prescriptions, perhaps the patients might think that, oh, why, right? And if you're giving a lot of prescriptions, even though the patient, let's say, is completely okay, and if the patient is leaving with a lot of medications, he or she may actually feel very happy, right? So he or she may feel that he has received something. So there are a lot of different factors that you have to consider when you are being a doctor at different places. However, if you are working in a public hospital, do not necessarily have to look at the economic benefits that much. You can actually focus on the best benefits for your patients. In that particular case, we're looking at cancer survivors. The expert in our group also mentioned that cancer survivors always receive immediate treatment within 1 week, even when they're visiting public hospitals. So no worries if, unfortunately, you're one of those people. Patients may also receive funding from benefactors, and social workers may actually provide follow-up work and action to take care of these people. It is suggested in our group that doctors should always show the virtue of compassion when they're seeing and meeting with their patients without giving up the other interests of other patients. What does that mean? The doctor in our group was saying that he's working in a public hospital, so of course there's a long list of patients waiting every day, and we all know that how much suffering that cancer patients have to deal with and undergo every day. In order not to sacrifice the interests of other patients, his group of colleagues actually make extra time to fit in those new patients so as to ease their pain and make sure that they are being taken care of as immediately as possible. So this is also a virtue that we can all learn to develop, right? So character formation we're talking about. And after that, some parents asked about questions when they're looking at how their kids could actually go into medical schools and all that. It's mentioned that if you would like to be a specialist, looking at different specialization, you have to undergo continuous professional development. Right? So you can always be a registered doctor after you undergo all the training and examinations. If you would like to have the title of a specialist, however, you have to go through continuous professional development programs so as to keep you updated and informed so that you can make the right choices. Towards the end, it is a reminder to all students, choose your profession based on your interest. as society is always changing, you may never be able to predict how much you're earning upon your graduation. So it's a lot of discernment so that an informed choice can be made, not just based on the economic benefits or how much money you're going to earn in the future, but also where your heart lies, right? So what you really want to do and the value, and also the different virtues that you can develop along the way. So this is also very important for us to look at and pay attention to. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Now shall we look at the point of view from the students?
According to the sharing by our supervisor, we discovered that medical professionals face relatively less moral dilemmas and moral hazards when compared to the other two professions, because most of the time we do not have a conflict of interest with our patients, as we both hope that the patient can recover. And the question we discussed is, should non-clinically tested drugs be used? And as the risks and side effects are unknown in non-clinically tested drugs, we think that it is most important that we provide the sufficient information to the patient so an informed choice can be made, and we will respect the choice of the patient, and the patient's consent is the most important. And we further discussed if what a doctor should do if he's certain a treatment can save the patient, but the patient did not agree to receive such treatment. We would first ask for the opinions of the patient's relatives and consult other doctors. If we all agree that that treatment should be made to the patient, we will try our best to persuade the patient, but ultimately it's the choice of the patient that matters. However, in some extreme cases where the patient have some mental problems or they show they have some mental problems, we may ask for judgment by the court, like for example, when an anorexic refuses to be force-fed, we may ask for judgment by the court whether that anorexic should be force-fed.
So these problems are exactly the specialty of Dr. Vincent C. So he's really a specialist on these issues. So I really would feel embarrassed to make the comment myself, but as it's exactly your field, I would like to give you the chance to react, make your comment to these cases.
Both look in fact give a very good summary. I would like to add a little bit thing as well, related to when a patient definitely refuses treatment. Not only we have to consider whether his or her mental condition cannot make this decision. Second thing is whether the patient has infectious disease. Highly infectious disease, then we can't obey his or her consent. We have to grab him or her, just like SARS, That's the only most important decision. That's all.
And now we come to, it's always when I explain what is business ethics all about, I always start with accounting ethics. So since there's a huge, of course not only in China where I work, but everywhere, the lack of transparency. So I look really very much forward now the feedback from the accounting case we have. So here
My name is Anna. Nice to meet you all here. Okay, this is a very interesting case that we go through for the accounting profession. Let me go through briefly of what's the case here. Okay, yeah. just in case you didn't go through this paper. To be a certified public accountant, his duty is to certify accounts as being true, right? And this is normally the job of an auditor. Okay, so this is a case of an auditor. What happened here? Okay, one of the things that an auditor should do is to obtain bank's confirmation of account balances. In Hong Kong, normally they will send a letter to the bank to request for the confirmation. But to do so in China, they have to go personally, carry your briefcase and then step into China, go to visit the bank to find out the truth, right? There's an auditor here. He went to China, sit down in front of the bank manager, a man who declared himself as the bank manager. And then he signed the name and chopped the bank's chop on top of it to verify the confirmation as true. And then this auditor went out and then, oh, I forgot a pen left on the bank manager's table, the desk. So he returned and found out, oh wow, how come there's another man sitting there? And then he stepped into the room and asked, may I talk to your manager that I just previously talked to? Oh, I'm sorry, I am the bank manager. Then who signed the paper for me? Who chopped the chop on it for me? Okay, so this is very common. Most likely, I don't know how they make it happen, okay? They bribe they pay money to the bank manager to let him step away for a while, and then you let me sit here. Most likely, this man is from the Hong Kong company or China company who wish to have this confirmation to be certified. Okay, he is not the real manager. Okay, as an auditor, okay, you find out the case. What will you do? Okay? Ask your bank manager, can you recertify it for me? Should you? Can you do so? Or, this is not too good. If this is certified to be this amount of money, normally this is a small amount, okay? Of course, someone spent money to take the place to disguise as a bank manager. Of course, he wanted to have his confirmation certified as a big amount of money, a big sum. That's why this is illegal, but he still want to do so. What should the auditor do? Recertify it, or that's it? I got the certification already. I should go. Don't arouse so many problems. I should go, just like that. What will you do? Some auditors will quit his job for that. This is my business ethics. I cannot break it, okay? I'd rather quit my job. This is illegal. I cannot do it. But according to my experience, okay, many small firms, they will just, like Peter in the first place, turn his eyes blind, okay? I just want to have my job done, okay? I will just forget it. Thank you for giving me back my pen. Go. Although he found that this not the right man, give him the certification, okay? In Hong Kong, big accounting firms, big ones, big four, I know, they might not be able to, they will not do it, okay? Middle four, at the borderline, let us think about it. I need this business. The business is not doing too good this month. I want to take it, I want to do it, just blind my eyes, I do it, okay? But for the small folks, I cannot say most, okay? But a lot of them, they will do it. But we are lucky, okay? I'm not an accountant, I'm not familiar with the legislations, but I know that the government has passed a legislation last year or a year ago, okay? The auditor has to take full responsibility for what he signed for. If it is illegal, he has to go to jail, Okay, so I like this practice more. My personal opinion, okay, I like this practice. There's those small firms who want to get business, okay, gradually they will be out of the market. Okay, business ethics is essential. Okay, we need that to, if we want to stay the business market in Hong Kong, if we want to stay healthy, we have to do so. Yeah, true is true. Okay， 是真的不能假，是假的就永遠不能真。陳志榮嘅説話，是真的假不了，假的真不了。OK， 咁我哋 stick with 呢個 ethics。OK， 我哋唔可以話見錢眼開。OK， 咁就有個市場自然淘汰咗嗰啲造假嘅人咯。咁呢個係我哋嘅 conclusion， 我哋嘅組員係咪啊？雖然現實世界係真係有好多奸人，係咪啊？我為咗生意眯埋眼我做。OK， 如果唔係我就死㗎啦。咁同埋佢哋即係我都啱啱學㗎，係跟阿 Tom 學㗎。阿 Tom 話原來佢哋咧有啲嘢係唔 check 㗎，眯埋眼就簽落去㗎啦，唔 check 嘅。你 check 可能你要10個鐘頭，佢半個鐘頭就搞掂㗎啦，將啲嘢。咁佢一日可以做10 cases， 人哋一日先做到一個。咁佢為咗搶生意就不擇手段。咁呢啲係真係好冇道德可言咯。咁但係好彩市場係會自動淘汰，咁啊政府立法，唔好話我哋政府冇做嘢，都有嘅。雖然就係呢個係經歷緊寒冬期，個個都係經歷緊寒冬期，因為你淨係答問題答 Q 都有排答，係咪啊？問到你口啞先俾你上市，呢啲嘢我講上市嘅程序我又講咗喺第度。咁但係問題呢個痛苦嘅階段係要經歷嘅，咁香港係要廉潔公正咯。我哋嘅分享係咁多。
Thank you for the great presentation. Now we look for the students' point of view for this case. Please.
Hi, I'm the student representative of the accounting profession. So after our group discussion just now, we came up with a conclusion that we should first report to our superiors when we face such a problem of the bank to our superiors in order to prevent from affecting the investigation progress of the police. Or from destroying the company's image as an auditor, as a representative of the company. We should not be affected by our first instinct to clarify the identity of the person sitting in front of the bank manager's desk, but we should have consulted our company's superiors before making any decision. Thank you.
So, I will of course also now give our specialist in accounting the chance to react and make maybe your final comments with Sumi.
I was very impressed by the presentations. I just want to make one clarification. The law has been changed, but the auditor will not go to jail. He will have a criminal record. He will have a criminal record, but he will not go to jail. Something which I personally disagree, but which the profession has fought tooth and nail to get. I think it has become a toothless tiger. That's one thing. The other is that the parents gave a very mature and also a very considered view. The view of the students was suggested by me because I said that, first of all, because you're a junior staff, you should not make decisions yourself. Secondly, if you start an investigation, you will alert people to the fact that they are being found out. and so they may destroy evidence, or they might take steps to cover their tracks, so that future investigation will become difficult. So obviously there's something wrong, something very wrong. But if you go on a one-man crusade, you might do more harm than good. So that was my recommendation. Thank you.
Also a dear friend of the HKIIEL, Andrew Shaw, developed codes over many years in order to protect these professions. I think it's even more urgent to develop codes. We have said, for instance, to balance legal aspects, moral aspects, and also have a specific training. So I could imagine we made an excellent start that could be the next step to see what is for the accounting, legal, medical profession codes you have to refer to in order to react or to have to be equipped to see a solution in some dilemmas. So that's just a brief comment. Actually, that was always a one-day seminar, and I think more and more it becomes really necessary to have clear professional codes which are necessary to protect the professions. So thank you very much.